You probably recall last week or last time we did a 1-point perspective box after I first explained 1, 2, and 3-point perspective for drawing boxes, which are basic, simple shapes. So now we're going to work on a 2-point perspective. We still have the horizon, which is this straight line in the back, and instead of drawing one line or one dot somewhere on this line, I'm drawing 2, and they're on either end of the horizon. When you're drawing a box, instead of drawing the face of the box, we're going to draw one of the corners. So to do that, first I draw a perpendicular line, which will actually be the corner of a box. I then connect the vanishing point to the bottom of that line, as well as the top. I do the same with the other side. So it looks like it might be the beginning of what they call a chevron, but it isn't. This is going to be the box, and this will be the corner of the box. Now we can make the box long or narrow, and we can do it in either shape, squarish, or we can make it rectangular. What I decided to do is I decided to make this side a little bit shorter and this one a little longer. So this will be where the box will be. But you notice I only have 2 sides, so now I have to do the other sides also. So using the same vanishing points, I draw a line across here and one here, and notice I now have the top of a box, if it were completely closed. Erasing the lines I don't need, it's easier to see the box. This single line going down here suddenly shows you that you can look into the box. Keep in mind you have to stop here because otherwise it would go through the wall of the box. To find the center, which we did on the 1-point perspective, which was easier on it because we were looking at the face of the box. Here we're looking at one of the sides. We do exactly the same thing. We draw an X. We use the opposing corners to create an X. And then the center where those 2 lines meet is actually the center. And you'll notice that the space here is larger than the space here because as you're looking into the picture, the box part that is further from you is going to look smaller, even though in real life it would be identical in size to the front. So here I erase some lines I didn't need. And you can see this would actually cut the box in half, the front half and the back half. Now, to find out how long the flaps would be, I use proportions. So I take the top of the middle and draw a line to the bottom corner. I make a parallel line here, and I do the same with the back side. You notice that these 2 lines are parallel and these 2 are parallel. This section is longer than this section, but it is proportionate in the drawing. So if we're looking at it this way, they would be equal in length. And the same is true here. And the reason I do that is because I need to draw a semicircle here to find out where I want the flap to be. The flap could be at an angle, it could be flat, it could be all the way down. And notice that this semicircle is smaller than that one. And that's because it's further away. So I decided to show the flaps of the box open a little bit. That's why I made this line here and this one here. And as you recall from 1-point perspective, from this corner to here is the end of the flap. From this corner here is the end of that flap. And then this line is parallel to this. That line and that line are parallel. And when you erase the lines, some of which you don't need, you start to see you have flaps. But this is not the end because we have 4 flaps we need, not just 2. So now we have to have a flap here and a flap here. I can do the same thing I did before with the semicircles, but this time I'm going to do what artists often do. I'm going to eyeball. Eyeball is an estimate, what I think looks right. As an artist, you can do that. So notice the first one I did, the impression I had is this seemed a little bit short. I did that on purpose. You can actually see the same. It looks like it needs to be longer. So that's what I did. Notice how I added. Now it looks more proportionate the way it should, just by eyeballing it. Erase the lines I don't need. You can see the inside of the box, and you see it has 4 flaps, and all the flaps look like they're reasonably sized for the size of the total box. And again, I shaded it, and because the inside has less light, I made it darker. And that's why it looks like you can look into the box.